What's up, y'all? All right, so I figured if I'm gonna Chico, hey, this is my dog Chico. Say hi, Chico. Chico. Chico, say hi later. So I figured if I was gonna come out here and do what I'm planning to do right now, which is gonna happen, there's no doubt about it, I gotta introduce myself to the world real quick and see if y'all interested in my story. So my real name is William L.Z. Cloninger. Actually, I just found out my grandfather wasn't my grandfather. That my grandmother cheated on him, so my last name is supposed to be really Knox, but birth certificate just says Cloninger, just for all y'all. So, as growing up, I built this identity called Ghost. You know, look, got the tattoo, Ghost. Anyways, Ghost, Chinese on the neck. But Ghost was a failed experiment. You see, my mom and dad, both drug addicts, so I wasn't really raised by them. My grandmother on my dad's side adopted me. Grandmother, grandpa, Uncle Mike, sister Tiffany. Me and Tiffany had same dad, different mother. So, you know, I grew up good, man. I mean, I had a good childhood. My grandmother took us to Disney World every year. I got a PlayStation and Atari and Xbox all when it first came out. You know, I'm 38 years old, so I'm kind of young. I'm kind of old to be jumping in the game right now, but I still feel like my 15-year-old self, and that's the whole point. When I was 15, 16 years old, I was an emotionally unstable, suicidal teenager, and all I wanted to do was just feel good, feel connected, because I didn't really have family besides, you know, my immediate family. Around my friends, I was always the leader, you know. I was always the one starting the gangs or whatever. I started a little gang called 8080 Iguana when I was a kid with all the kids on my street, you know. And then as I got older, I created a gang called PIC, Partners in Crime, which was all me and my best homeboys, man. I'm talking about my dogs, Biggs, KB, Xenos, G Black, Nanakai. We were all together. We were all one, man. And, you know, if they went, I went. If I went, they went. There was no questions about anything. Like, if anybody wanted anything done, needed a place to stay, needed food to eat, there was no questions. Didn't care what grandma said, didn't care what their parents said. All our parents adopted each other. So when I was 15 years old, my grandfather died. And I started smoking weed. And I got real bad into drugs. Well, alcohol and weed, really. I started committing burglaries, you know, to take care of my habit. And I got arrested as a juvenile. Well, one day, me and my friend Tony decided we're gonna go watch the sunrise on the beach in the morning, because we've never done it before. So I told my grandfather, yo, I need to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to catch the bus. My grandfather wakes us up at 5, and I cussed him out. So me and my friend Tony, we make it to the beach. You know, the buses run every 15 minutes. We never took a bus before, so I didn't really know how it was, but we made it. That was the point. And then I get back, my sister's outside, Tiffany. So she's like, Billy, oh, by the way, my childhood name was Billy. She's like, Billy, you need to come in. I'm like, what's going on? She's like, something happened, you know, we need to talk to you. Tell your friend to go home. I said, Tony, you ain't gotta go home. Hold on, I'll be right back. I went in, my grandmother was standing right there at the door crying. And she said, Grandpa died. And I felt like somebody shot me in the chest with a shotgun. My back hit the back of the door, and I slid down on my butt. And the only thing I could do to rationalize, because my grandfather was kind of senile, he would yell at the TV all day, CNN. He was a Republican, so he was like, you goddamn liberal son of a bitches. And he, oh hell, and he banged his fist on the table and knocked coffee everywhere. I was like, Grandpa, the TV can't hear you, it's not real. He's like, it is real. Well, I rationalized saying, well, at least I don't have to hear him bitch at the TV no more. But I didn't process this anger, I didn't process this, you know? I didn't know what mental health was, I didn't know what any of this shit was, man. So I started committing crimes, smoking weed, skipping school. Grandmother fucking got fired from her job. She had to do the same shit with my dad, man. She was an enabler, you know. She took care of us. She was the love. She was the one that held the family together. Same thing with my sister. My sister was a problem too. My sister ended up at this time moving 2 doors down the street to a guy named Philip Farmer and married him. You know, and he's racist. He doesn't like me because I hung out with black people. He would call me the N-word just like he would call them. So I got ostracized by him, but I respect him because he took care of my sister. Even to this day, he's 60 years old. He got the house fully paid off, got a job, cars paid off, sent 2 daughters to college. Like, he's doing his thing. He lives in Georgia. I respect him, but I don't like him personally. But that's still, he's a man. He took care of my family, and I respect him for life for that. And I'll always have his back for that. Now, I ended up going to a juvenile program down here in Florida, what they call, by the way, I'm in Broward County, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, where the whole Nicholas Cruz thing happened, Kodak Black and all that. Me and Kodak actually used to run the same streets. I actually met him in county, but that's a whole nother story. So what happened was, yeah, they used to call me Kodak White. Kodak, if you see this, that was me. I was Kodak White. I had the same dreads you had, so everyone started calling me that. I got famous because of a celebrity in jail. That's another story. I'll tell you that one later. I'll post it later. But just, you know, touching back up where we left off, man, I ended up going to a juvenile detention center and then a juvenile prison for kids that are under 21, well, under 19 is a cap out. They call them programs, but the same thing as prison, just for kids under 21. I went to a level 6. They go up to level 8. 2, 4, 6, and 8. 4 and 6 starts the residential. 8's kind of hardcore, and 10's max custody. So I went to a level 6. I did 9.5 months, got released. 2 weeks before I got released, my grandmother died. Nope, I did not get to see the funeral. My family was like, yo, he's ended up just like his father. We're not going to postpone it. They ended up staying until after I got released anyways. Then I went to live with my sister. My sister found out I was selling weed. So her husband told her to call the cops, had me put in jail. I did 3.5 months in county, trying to do 21 months in prison. My first adult offense. Finally got my judge to cop out. Realized that I'm an adult now, dropped my juvenile holds, and I bonded out with my friend Zenos. This was a black friend, so I had nowhere to go. My black friend's parents adopted me. So yes, I was raised by a black family at the age of 17 till 23. Then I met this girl named Dana Weatherman. Dana, I didn't really like her. She was hot, but I wanted to fuck. I'm gonna be honest with you. But she was rich. Her parents owned a jewelry store, multi-millionaire, so I found a way to get out of my poverty. So first week, I found out she was in love with me. I moved in with her. Second week, got her pregnant. 9.5 months later, I have a baby boy named Lance King Cloninger. Lance, if you see this, I'm your real daddy. I know you just found out about your last name, why you have a different one. This will all come to light. This all has to come to light. That's why I'm doing this. I'm tired of struggling. Halsey, if you see this, I'm doing my first collab with you. That's why I sent you the DM. We'll get to all this. Just hear me out. There's a story that needs to be told. Kids that need to be saved. There's a purpose for this mission. So, I ended up catching burglaries in 2012 because, I jumped too fast. Dana got tired of me. We started doing blues, Ropsies. Got on drugs real bad. She was tired of living in my shadow, man. Her parents offered me and her the jewelry business, no problem. Said we could do it. They'll give us their clients and everything. I turned it down like an idiot. I wanted to run my own computer repair business. Dana didn't love me no more, man. She fell out of love with me because I gave all my love to my son Lance. She's seen a way that she could use Lance as a tool against me, so she ripped him away from me to destroy me because I used her. And it was wrong, but I was just doing what I was trying to do to survive. Dana, you got to understand. I loved you because you were Lance's mother, but I just wasn't in love with you. But we still could have been a family together. I was willing to make that sacrifice. So she told her parents I was on drugs. Now, here's the thing. We were both on drugs, but me trying to be the guy to protect her, I didn't say anything about her drug use. So I agreed that I'd leave for a couple days. I went to a friend's house. Ironically, this friend was the one that was supplying me with blues, but he was the only one that would give me a couch. And I had, ironically, another friend named Demetrius Wilder that I met a long time ago. We used to work in telemarketing together. We tried a couple business ventures. They failed, but he was my dog. He's seen how much money I was making doing the computer repair thing. He was doing blues too, and he wanted to ride. So I was like, listen, bro, Dana just broke up with me. She got the car. You know, the car is mine. I paid for it, but dude, it's in her parents' name because they had good credit, so I don't have rights to it. So, and I got a fucked up license. Demetrius had a car, but it was in an impound because he didn't have a license. But the impound wasn't holding it like that. It was his girlfriend's best friend's place. She owned it, so they were just holding it for him. He could get it whenever he wants. So I made him a deal. Bro, listen, I don't got a license. I'll drive your car. That means I'm taking a risk if I get pulled over. And I'll split everything with you 50-50. You don't even have to do anything. I'll do all the computer work. I'll still advertise on Craigslist for the software and the programs. Pretty much pirated software and installing it. But I was also doing web development, graphic design, PC repair, virus removal. I'm a computer geek. I'm a little hacker, you know. I hacked PayPal once, got banned for life. Elon, if you hear this, that's me. So, anyways. Yeah, so he went with it. Short story made long. Long story made short. 2 weeks later, I got arrested for driving without a suspended license. I detoxed from blues October 4th, 2010. And I never touched them again. I promised I never would, but I ended up homeless with nowhere to go. Parents wouldn't take me back, wouldn't even see me, wouldn't let me see my kid. So I became an alcoholic. I mean, a really bad one, man. I'm talking about begging for money on the street, holding up a sign, sleeping in bushes. It was bad. I didn't shower for weeks at a time. I was that guy that I used to down on. I realized God did this for a reason. You see, I used to drive up to bums and spit on them and talk, get a job, you fucking idiot, you fucking drug addict, because I didn't do hardcore drugs like that. I did ecstasy, I did acid, I was a hippie, I partied, whatever. But I, smoked weed, did some coke, but I never smoked crack. I never shot heroin. Well, guess what? A couple months later, a girl into me, I'm getting to smoke crack because I was trying to get some coke. Then I became a crackhead. Long story short, I started committing burglaries. 2012, I got 3 burglaries too many. And I ended up in what's called ROC court, R-O-C, repeat offender court. My judge was Judge Backman. People heard that judge's name. He was a ROC court judge. They heard his name, they got scared, they would shake. They were offering 10 years plus. They didn't even make me an offer. They just said, your offer is going to be double digits. I sat in the county for 20 months and I lost my mind. I came up with this delusional thought that the Illuminati ran the court systems, that the entirety of the legal system was a conspiracy of the Illuminati to house innocent defendants in jail by using the entertainment industry to promote drugs, money, rape, murder, crime, rape, steal, kill, just crime. That way they could cause a criminal class that didn't exist in the 50s and 60s, thus building prisons, making money off them by housing people in prisons, keeping the profit, and then not telling the taxpayers. Pretty much doing fraud on a massive scale, laundering the taxpayers' money by incarcerating individuals' souls in a jail cell to fund their personal war against the American people. This all ties into the drug war and everything. I'm not going to go into it because I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I lost my mind. And they ended up letting me go. They gave me a fucking good prison deal, man. I ended up getting sentenced to 3.5 years, but I had so much time in already that I ended up doing 8. It's a long story. It's very complicated, the Florida legal system. But I did 8 to the door. I got out in 2021. Then, I got out in 2020. 2 days after I got out, I made a commitment to God. I'm going to find happiness or I'm going to commit suicide because I don't believe you're real. Just in spite. I'm going to give it a shot, though. 2 days later, I found this girl, Sophia Tyler Bernier, and I fell in love. Sophia was an ex-drug addict. She did not use drugs. Sophia, she reminds me a lot of Halsey, which is why I'm kind of reaching out to you, Halsey. This all ties in. So, she does drugs. Or she did drugs. She beat cancer, so she got addicted to opiates, but she stopped. But when I got out, I was still kind of having my drug addiction. I would smoke crack behind her back and shit like that, but she didn't give up on me. She believed in me. She pushed me to be harder. I remember one time she gave me money to go get a motorcycle because I needed transportation, and I spent it on crack. And she texted me later that day and I was crying. She said, "What happened?" I said, "I fucked up." She goes, "What did you do?" I said, "Man, I spent the money on crack." She goes, "Why? What is wrong with you?" I go, "I don't know." And she goes, "Come to my house right now." And I go, "Okay." And I hung up and I took the bus. I left my halfway house. I wasn't supposed to leave. I was on curfew. I could have got kicked out, but I didn't question. I went to her house. When I got there, I knocked on her door. She said, "You stood out the crack pipe? You stood out the crack?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Break it." I threw it on the ground and I broke it. She goes, "You're not a fucking crackhead." She goes, "Listen, I'll make you a deal. I'll give you $20 right now. You go smoke crack, or you can sneak into the window and sleep with me tonight." I said, I want to sleep with you tonight." She goes, "You're not a fucking crackhead. Crackheads don't do that. I'm not giving up on you." And I snuck in. We had sex all night, made a video, fell in love. The next day we did this drug called C-Class, which is like ecstasy. And she made the decision. We're moving in together. I gotta do what I can to save you. But the thing I didn't know was that Sophia had demons too, man. She used to be beaten by her past boyfriends. She was raped. All this good shit. And she would emulate me as the origin of the sin when she had a PTSD episode. And I didn't know what PTSD was. When she got triggered, I didn't understand it. Long story short, I ended up smoking crack behind her back. Then she ended up smoking crack with me. She ended up doing some things that I wasn't happy of, and I seen where it was going. She was gonna end up in the streets with me. She wanted to be my trick so we could do track today. I loved her. I couldn't allow that to happen, so I had to force her out. Then she wouldn't leave. She tried to find another man, and I had to force him out. I sprayed them both with mace. I got the cops called to me. There was a whole hostage situation held in my apartment. Luckily, nobody got arrested. But that day, she ended up calling her sister, and stays in New York, which is a millionaire, getting her to pay for an Uber to go to detox, and she got clean. That was like the middle of January 2021. I have not seen her since. I barely talked to her since she's blocked me. I should have followed her to detox. Guys, I didn't. I fucked up. I stayed out there in the street. One day I did some acid. God talked to me, told me I need to go to detox. I stole a car, went to detox, and I got arrested for Grand Theft Auto. And I detoxed in jail. I didn't do it the right way, but whatever. Long story short, I violated my habitual offender probation with a new felony, Grand Theft Auto. So I'm facing 15 plus for a PRR, prison reasonably offender, minimum mandatory sentences. I write a letter to the prosecutor telling her all this, telling her my story, that when I get out, I plan to be a peer support specialist, that I plan on helping kids because I was a suicidal, emotionally unstable teenager and I wanted to help the kids. Well, guess what? She liked my story. She gave me the bottom of my guidelines. She believed in me. I even drew her a picture. Told her I was an artist. Her name was Kristen Gomes, and I drew a heart with a rose behind it and the name and script, a tattoo script superimposed over it that said Kristen, and it's shaded in pencil and outlined in a pen. It was beautiful. It took me 3 days to make it. I put it on a postcard and mailed it into her. And I told her, I want you to see this to see who I am as an artist, as a person, not just another number, not just another inmate. She spoke to me in open court and said, "I believe your letter. I'm going to give you the bottom guideline. That does not happen here," which was 4 years. I ended up doing 4 years in prison. I went to work release just a year ago. and I was doing the right thing. And then, unfortunately, the work release I was at was lazy. They didn't want to do the work, so I was forcing them to help me find jobs and shit. They pushed me out. They said 38 days after I got there, you're leaving. They tried to drug test me because they thought I was on drugs, but I wasn't. They didn't have an excuse to send me out, but they still did it. When I saw them pull those shackles out, I freaked out. I took my ankle monitor off, and I left the compound. I said, I'm not going back to prison. My friend Scott called me. Bro, what are you doing? Come back. They're going to charge you with escape. No, bro, I'm not going back to prison. Bro, come back. All right, I'm coming back. I busted the block. I wasn't even a block away from the work release center. It hadn't even been 20 minutes since I left. A cop pulled me over, said, hey, what's your name? I said, dude, I'm the one you're looking for, bro. I'm going back to the work release center right now. He put me in handcuffs, drove me back, waited in the parking lot for a little bit. What's up, Chico? Want to sit down? Here, let's sit down. Say hi, Chico. Say hi, Chico. Hi, Chico. So, had to go to prison for escape. They said charge him with escape. They want to make an example out of me because there was 2 people earlier that week that escaped. So yeah, long story short, I ended up doing time. That was April 23rd, 2024. I was supposed to get released January 1st, 2025. Prison came to the county in Orlando and said, yeah, it was Orlando work release. Orlando, Florida. That's where I was at. Orange County Corrections. So they came to the county and they made me sign my release papers, but I was still being held. They're trying to offer me 2 years in prison. I served 14 months, and I don't know. I guess they just decided that they liked my story, that I had mental health issues, and that I was really a victim, so they let me out on pretrial. I still got to go back to court for it. On that 2 years they're offering me, I got 14 months served, so they might offer me a sweet deal now that I'm out. I'm on probation down here, but here's the thing. Ghost was a failed experiment. When I was in county, I decided to create a new ego. His name's Emo Ego. Now this is where Emo Ego comes in. He's presenting Ghost dubstep sessions. So this is my plan, y'all, and I need help. Halsey, help me. I'm trying to reach out. I'm trying to do this the right way. This is what happened. Skrillex, you too, because you're my favorite DJ. Like you influence a lot of my music. I'm trying to do a collab, like seriously, man. This is gonna save lives. I'm telling y'all. So this is what happened. I ended up coming up with the idea that I had to create an alter ego. My ego that I remember was the 15-year-old self that believed he could be a rock star that school told me I couldn't be. But I'm 38 years old now. However, I've learned a lot since then. So my 15-year-old self embodies the emotions and the physical attributes of who that was. Emo Ego, William Conner, Billy, the kid, Ghost, whatever. When I was suicidal and depressed, I'd put on music, and music would make me feel better. And I wouldn't want to kill myself. So now what I do is I create emo pop music. It's kind of like a new genre, like a SoundCloud wave rap, you know. I don't know, man. I'm starting all new shit, bro. I'm a glide mage. I don't even know what that means, but that's what I am. Like, I'm starting a whole new shadow movement. Like, this is what it is. Like, this is music that's coming from the heart. Kids are gonna hear this. Right now, people, we are at a suicidal rate among teenagers that is at an alarmingly high rate, man. Kids are killing themselves. I saw a Facebook Live video a couple years ago of a 12-year-old hanging themselves, saying, I'm sorry, and then hung themselves live on Facebook. What the fuck is going on? I mean, we can blame whatever, man, but fuck blaming it, we gotta fix it. Music helped me, I can help people. There are emos out there that feel like that they are not part of society, man, that they are misfits, that they need to be connected to somebody, and we can do something. We can create music to let them know. Halsey, you did this for me. Skrillex, you did this for me. I can do it back. This gives my life purpose. You see, all that shit I went through when I was a kid, it doesn't have to mean that that it was pointless. I can live for something now. I can save lives. In spite of all the shit I went through, this is what can happen. It can be with purpose. So yeah, we can do this. We can do this. I'm starting my own movement, man. Listen, Emo Ego writes music from the perspective of a 15-year-old emotionally unstable, suicidal kid that he was, but now as a grown adult. He's trying to reach the misfits to let them know that they're not alone. He's gonna do this through music. I need a tour bus. I need 5 interns. I need some people to join me. I need a producer, because I can't make all the beats myself. I'm using my AI, but my AI is going to do too much. I need someone to do full-time into this. I'm going to give you an opportunity that you can't refuse. If you love music, and music is your life, I'm reaching out to you. I will give you the ability to produce music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I will provide your food, your housing. We're going to sleep on a tour bus. All I ask, all right, is that you dedicate 100% of your time in doing what you love, and no drugs, no bad shit, no negative energy. We got to move. We got people to save. That's my first intern. My second intern, I need a bus driver. I need a videographer to record everything from the beginning. The name of the tour is gonna be called Kill the Ghost Tour. The name of the documentary is gonna be called Kill the Ghost Documentary. I need a social media engineer to do what I'm doing right now all day long. All you are going to do is make posts on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, YouTube. We're the SoundCloud. We're gonna keep everybody up to date on what the emos. All my fans are called emojis. We gotta keep all the emos updated, all the emojis updated on what's going on. Okay, and then I need a tour manager. I need someone to book all our shows for us in advance. I need to produce. Skrillex, you did 364 shows and 363 shows in 365 days. I want to do 365 shows in 365 days. I want to do a show every day. I don't care if there's a day we can't get booked and I have to do a flash performance on the side of the road. We're doing it. And then after every show, I'm going to set up stands where we're going to pass out swag bags, glow sticks, candy, Emo Ego t-shirt, a hat, and a $5 gift card to somewhere. And all you got to do is line up, scan a QR code. It's going to give you to our YouTube page and shit like that. Subscribe, like, link. That way we get out there. And then I'm going to set up a tattoo booth. And anybody who wants a tattoo, I'm going to give them a free Emo Ego tattoo. This is the Emo Ego symbol. Hold on. Look, right here. See that? Yeah, I just did a tattoo on myself yesterday. It's an LSD molecule. I freehanded it. I'll post that video too. But that's the emo right there. All right? But it's going to say Emo Lives. It's a 3D emo. That's going to be my signature. So I'll give those free tattoos. I don't care if every fucking fan there lines up at that tattoo booth when I'm done. I'm not going to leave until I finish every tattoo. If I have to teach multiple interns that are with me how to tattoo and we just have multiple stands, we're gonna do that. But we're not leaving. And these are my dedications. I'm doing this, people. And then at the end of the tour, I'm gonna be famous already. I'll be known. I'm gonna create Crack That Just Snapped records because I'm a cracker that just snapped, like straight up. You know what I mean? I'm flipping at everything. You know, cracker used to be a racist term, but now we're using it. Just how the, you know, yeah, we're using it. We're using it now. Just like Rudrat is, you know. Cracker got an AR. You know, so anyways. So, yeah, Crack That Just Snapped records. I don't want to sign to another record label. I don't want to be somebody's bitch. I want to be able to make my own decisions and move. But I need donations, man. So I got a GoFundMe page. I'm starting it up. I need your help, people. All right? So I need the tour bus. I need everything. Like, we're saving lives, man. The mission is to reduce suicide among teens. If you're with it, you're with it. All right? Help me. Emo Ego out.